I had a pattern of attracting an unavailable people. So like married men, commitment-phobic men, alcoholic, workaholic men, gay men who wanted to explore had a thing for me. So I'd had just another disappointing love affair, and I called up my friend Naomi, and I said, Naomi, I'm going to set an outrageous intention. I'm going to be engaged by my 42nd birthday. That was 8 months out. I had no possibility for a partner. And she said something that really changed my life. She said, Katherine, I'm going to hold that intention with you and for you if you give me permission to hold you accountable to being the woman that you would need to be to have that happen. And in that moment, my whole worldview just shifted. Because rather than, running out frantically to try and find love to meet that deadline, I turned my whole attention towards myself to identify and release any hidden internal barriers that I had not been aware of until that point. I took full responsibility for myself as the source of my experience. And then I would ask myself 3 critical questions. I would ask myself, Katherine, what would you need to let go of in order to make room for this vision to come to you? The second question, how would you need to grow yourself and develop yourself in order to be ready when this relationship comes to you? And then the third question is, what's my next step? And so I'd go immediately into action. And I find that when we ask the universe these questions, a lot of clarity emerges. You have to ask the question first, but if you ask life, what's my next step to get to that future, which looks impossible from this perspective, you will start to intuitively know what that next step is. And I started to take the risk to show up in ways that felt completely outside of who I've known myself to be. I would be vulnerable. I would be transparent. I started to actively take on breaking up that structures. This gentleman had written me back, and it went straight into my email box, and his name was in parentheses. And it was the man I had dated 6 years earlier, who for years I had thought of as the one that got away. And we went out on a coffee date, and within a matter of hours, I knew he was the one I was calling in. We got married the next year. I gave birth to our daughter. And at that point, I thought, okay, this can't just be a personal miracle. So I went back and I started to try and decipher what I had done. And I saw that I started with a really big, bold intention. And that I followed it with taking complete responsibility for myself as the source of my experience. So really my message here today is just to tell you that the past doesn't define what's possible for you at all. It informs who you are today, but it doesn't define you. What actually defines you is the future that you're standing for creating. So be bold, be brave, take action in that direction, and let the magic begin. Thank you very much. Thank you.